we've been celebrating suits and sneakers throughout the week here in this mission for Coaches versus Cancer. Every day we've had a Big Ten men's basketball coach join us on the show. And today's coach is Chris Holtmann of The Ohio State University. And Coach, we really appreciate you being here with us. And you've been a really enthusiastic supporter of this suits and sneakers cause throughout your time in Columbus. What about this mission has really been so important to you?
Well, Anthony, obviously, as we all know, we're all impacted by this. And, I had a mother-in-law who fought breast cancer. I've had grandparents and family members who've fought various forms of cancer. So, I think as coaches, you always want to follow the guys that you've respected along the way. And so many of the guys that came before me really led the way, Anthony, in terms of their effort and their work around Coaches versus Cancer and the fight against this disease. And our university does some incredible things with the James, incredible things in terms of both research and care for cancer patients. And I'm glad to kind of partner with all the coaches that have come before me, our current coaches, and great universities like Ohio State that are in this fight.
I really appreciate you continuing to carry that message on because, like you said, it is such an important one. For your hoops off season, I did notice back kind of late in the summer where you had an opportunity, and it kind of comes to mind because we have the NFC and AFC championship games this weekend in the NFL. I saw you took your daughter to a Taylor Swift concert at one point over the summer. Now, she's still a teenager at this point. I don't know how passionate she is about football, but has she suddenly become a rabid Kansas City Chiefs fan?
Well, I think I'm officially a Swiftie now, Anthony, and I'm not sure what that means. As you can see in the video there, I was a bit overwhelmed at the concert. I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but it was loud, and it was an incredible night. It was an incredible night. It was an incredible performance. I think that was towards the end of the summer. It was in SoFi. My daughter's 13. She loves Taylor Swift, and of course, like all the young Swifties out there, she's well aware of her relationship right now with Kelsey, and she's watched more Chiefs football than ever, even when they were winning Super Bowls. So, that's an amazing power that Taylor Swift has over so many people who just love her music and have really connected with her music.
Yeah, we'll take all the additional fans that we can into the football world. There's certainly nothing wrong with that. And you had a different milestone that you hit a couple of games ago when you guys took down Penn State. You hit the 250 career win milestone, a really significant milestone for you. And you're in the top 5 all time in Ohio State wins in the time you've been in Columbus. What did that mean to you to be able to hit those types of milestones and the thresholds that you're now kind of on the precipice of in leading Ohio State basketball?
Well, I wasn't even aware of it going into the game, that was a marker. Obviously, when you get your first win, that's a big moment. When you get to 100, that's a big moment. When you get to 200, that's a big moment. Your first win at a new place, like our first win at Ohio State, was a big moment over 6 years ago. And then 250, I think it just what it really does, Anthony, to be honest with you, is it makes you really grateful for all the players that you've coached who bought into how you want to do things, that have a belief in how you're doing things, and your staff who many, we know assistant coaches, they're like, they're almost invisible, and they're working behind the scenes tirelessly to make sure the program is run the way that you want it to be run, and they handle so many things. So it just makes you really grateful for all the coaches who've signed up to play in our program, and all the players and all the coaches who've put in incredible work. And you do think about the guys, all the guys that have come through here, the Kyle Youngs, the E.J. Liddells, the Dwayne Washington, C.J. Walker, the Wessons, so many that were here. Jay Sean Tate and Kata early in our tenure here that just helped us have success.
Now, road wins are always difficult to come by in Big Ten play, but statistically, this season, home teams are having more success than we've seen in quite a while in this conference. What's your perspective on that? Is it because home teams are now performing even better and atmospheres are getting that much more difficult? Or is there something where the away teams need to kind of figure things out and step their games up that much more?
Yeah, it's a good question, and obviously it's been a minute since we've won a game on the road. So we've experienced the struggles like a lot of programs around the Big Ten has. I would tend to think, Anthony, it speaks more to the parity of the league. When the league is that similar in terms of just talent and ability, I think it's the deepest league in the country along with the Big 12. I think the numbers prove that out, Anthony. So I think it speaks to me more to just the environments have always been great for 20, 30, 40 years. But you just see more parity. So the margin for error is much smaller. So when the margin for error is small, what you see is typically the home team has an advantage. Just they're more comfortable, all the reasons of the home court advantage. So to me, that's it. The clearest reason is, and I was talking to Tom a couple nights ago, there really isn't a team like Tom said, Tom Izzo said a couple, even early and even as of 5 years ago, there were teams where you could go on the road and play poorly and still win. That's not the case in the league, and it hasn't been the case the last couple of years. And I think that's why you see so many home teams performing well.
Well, your point guard, Bruce Thornton, he's one of the sort of rare players in program history that came in right away, was starting for you as a freshman, and started, continually into his sophomore season as well. He's in the top 5 in the country in assist to turnover ratio. I'm wondering your perspective on that particular stat. Is there anything that shows the composure of a ball handler more than that assist to turnover ratio?
No, he's got great feel, composure, toughness with the ball. He's really sure-handed. We've even challenged him at times to maybe take a few more chances with the ball, because he's really getting a good feel for the coverages that are come his way. He's a great kid. He's very coachable. He leans into coaching and wants it every day. He's a young man that has gotten better. We're obviously still the youngest team in the Big Ten. But our sophomores have allowed us to kind of feel a little bit older, even though the numbers would show how young we are, and Bruce has led the way there.
I was watching a feature that our crew, The Journey, did on Bruce, and looking at the backstory with he and his mom Tiana and kind of the influence she's had, where she was a major college basketball player as well. How have you seen her influence on his journey sort of shape the player and competitor that he's become?
She's amazing. Tiana's amazing. She's done an unbelievable job raising her kids and her boys. You can tell they've got the competitive spirit that she's kind of raised them with. And it's a beautiful family, and she's just an incredible mom. I got so much respect for her, and so much respect for her because after coaching Bruce now for a couple years and recruiting him and knowing him for longer, you just have such admiration for the kind of young man she's raised. So I was really glad The Journey, they always do an incredible job on those features. I was really glad they did one on Bruce because he's certainly deserving.
Your team as a whole, you've dropped 4 out of your last 5 games, and you mentioned some of the difficulties of playing on the road in this conference. You've got 2 of your next 3 coming up on the road here. How would you describe just the confidence on the whole that your team takes into this tough stretch coming up?
Yeah, it's no question it's a tough stretch. Our road games, we got a few more in January than we do the rest of the month, or the rest of the year. So it's a challenge, and we're playing good teams, and obviously we have Illinois at home, and they're a good team. So it's a challenging stretch for us. I think as much as anything, Anthony, your focus has to just be on the present day, the present moment, getting better and improving, and that's really what we've challenged our guys with. But there's no question we've struggled on the road. We have played well in stretches on the road. We just need to be able to play better for longer stretches to be able to get a win, and I'm confident we will.
And on your really young team, one of your most experienced players is Jamison Battle, an in-conference transfer, and he's a sharpshooter. You knew that coming in, and he's continued to do that for you this season. What's the balance of having someone who's as effective as Jamison Battle shooting the three ball, but then on the whole, your team has been inconsistent in that regard?
Yeah, we really need more guys to be able to step up and make three. Now, we did against Nebraska. We had more guys make threes, and that was a good sign for us. Because it can't just be one or two guys. But it was good. It was good to see a couple guys make some perimeter jump shots. I think we need that as we continue to play. That's going to be really important for us. He's done a great job on the offensive end, and we've challenged him on the glass and challenged him in other areas, and I think he's been better in some of those areas. But he's such a talented shooter, scorer, and effective player at good size, at the size that he has. And he's really grown, and I'm excited about this last half of the season, seeing his continued growth. His rebounding numbers are up; they need to continue to be that way, and he's competing defensively, which has been good to see.
And you face the Northwestern Wildcats coming up on Saturday. We just saw another example of them taking down Illinois, where Welsh Ryan Arena has become one of the most difficult places to play in this conference. What's going to be important for your squad as you prep for that game on Saturday?
Well, listen, they're a really good team. I think they're proven that they're an NCAA tournament team. I think that's clear with how they performed. They're older, they're tough, they're led by Boo Boo, obviously tremendous guard. It's a really, really good team. And I think when you look back at what they did last year, performing well throughout the season, and then obviously performing well in the NCAA tournament, that was a sign of things to come because they had so many returning players. So listen, it's going to be a great environment. It's going to be a really good team. And we're looking forward to the challenge. Chris does a great job. They've got tremendous players. And as you said, they're obviously coming off a big win.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to watching that on our end as well, Chris. Thanks so much for your time. Good luck this Saturday.
Thanks, Anthony. Anytime.